Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, it's 100% Humboldt podcast with my new best friends, Carly Robbins and David Reed.
Hello.
My old best friend from Food for People, right?
Yeah, Food for People.
Nice.
But we go back a ways.
We do go back, and we will talk about that immediately. No,
Please don't.
So tell us about who you are. What do you do? Let's start with Carly.
Sure. So my name's Carly Robbins, and I'm the executive director for Food for People. I've been there about a little over 9 years now. I started off as a development director before transitioning into this role this last year.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So you're the executive director.
Mm-hmm.
And what's David's role?
David?
I took over for Carly. I am in the shadow of Carly Robbins. I've been the development director for about a year at Food for People and have been involved in nonprofit fundraising in Humboldt County for a number that is larger than I feel comfortable saying out loud.
Yeah, we don't want to make you uncomfortable.
But it's definitely 2 digits.
2 digits. Okay. And you're 9 years. I didn't know.
Yeah.
But executive for a year.
Executive for a year. Yeah, we actually just saw yesterday, we got the pop-up notification that we started the move into our new building 1 year ago yesterday.
Wow.
And I took over as executive director July 1.
Time flies when you are having fun.
Yeah.
That's true. So tell us about your director job. What does that entail day to day?
I mean, day to day, I guess for any executive director, it could change vastly from day to day. But it's just keeping an eye on the overall operations, making sure we have everything we need to keep moving. Mm-hmm. We got a lot of different moving parts at Food for People. We got over 18 programs. We're going all over the county every day.
Wow.
So it's keeping an eye on logistics, capacity, infrastructure, funding, anything and everything.
So pretend I'm just like from another planet.
Yeah.
And in 1 minute, tell me what Food for People does for Humboldt County.
Yeah. Food for People is the food bank for Humboldt County. Mm-hmm. We operate as most larger food banks in urban areas do, where we, bring in food and we distribute it to a network of agency partners throughout the county. Food for People is also really unique in that we do a lot of direct distribution. So we saw gaps in service and have evolved over the years to meet those. So we do anything from pop-up distributions in the really rural areas of our county, child and senior nutrition programs that specifically target those demographics when they need it most. Emergency food response. We do nutrition education, CalFresh outreach, kind of anything we can do to help improve food security in Humboldt County.
Yeah, I think that's because, Humboldt's, that's why there's 100% Humboldt podcast, right? Is because Humboldt is an unusual animal in a lot of ways. Yeah. And in bigger places, there's probably a nonprofit that does that nutrition education or the kids nutrition programs, but Food for People's kind of stepped into the places where there are gaps, wherever there's gaps.
So there's a lot of places. So say you had a food problem in Soham, Garberville, and you could come and address a regional area or a population.
Yeah. So we work with a couple different entities in Soham, for example. Mm-hmm. We bring food directly to the food pantry there. Our partners down who run the Garberville Food Pantry, Patty Rose, has been there for a very long time. She's an amazing person.
Shout out to Patty. Patty.
Shout out, Patty. We also work with the Soham Resource Center. We do pop-up distributions in Redway. We bring Backpacks for Kids foods down.
Wow.
One of the most recent things we've been working on doing, trying to get food to the areas that have traditionally been underserved. So just this last year, in partnership with the Soham Family Resource Center, we started bringing foods out to Alder Point, which is an area we never served before.
Pretty remote.
Very remote. Yep. We had to get a brand new vehicle that can traverse some treacherous roads.
There's some, especially the winter.
Yeah,
we're christening it, and although it's already going there, right?
Yeah,
but we're christening that all-wheel drive refrigerated van in a couple of weeks.
Wow, that's cool. So you would go up to Klamath Trinity too, and the hills up there, and
we farthest north we typically go on a regular basis is Orick, on the coast, and Orleans on the eastern area.
Yeah, Willow Creek up that way.
Yeah.
Sure.
Occasionally in the past, we've helped in Klamath when Last Chance Grade had that area cut off for a long time.
Oh, right.
Because traditionally they're served by the Del Norte Food Bank. But when they were having a hard time making it through, we would be, we helped out to do some food deliveries to that
So would you
community.
drive all the way around or on a back road or?
Well, we could get to Klamath because last
'Cause we're on
chance
this
grade
side, yeah.
was, on
Great
the other
point.
side. They
Okay.
couldn't. So that was where
But it's still in their county, yeah.
Yeah.
I got it. Okay. Let me show everybody on my tricky map where we're talking
Seen your
about.
tricky map.
Very tricky. It's not tricky. It's beautiful. This is Humboldt County over there. I don't know if you can see it. We're talking about the part, the upper right, left, right quadrant, the right quadrant, the other right, left. Anyway, so yeah, usually it's right here and I can point to it and use it as a prop. But right now,
It's way far away from your hand.
it's not working. It's like sorry. Anyway, so for those of you that don't know your geography that great. So David and I go way back. We have some history together. How long have we known each other? I'll answer. Not long enough.
Yeah. We were both in local media for a while, selling advertising.
It almost sounds like we were on the air. We were the sales people that made ads on newspapers.
Yeah. And ran into each other from time to time.
Yeah. And then you were in advertising, of course, handling marketing for Fortuna, right?
Yeah. Yeah. For about 10, 11 years, I was the head of their business improvement district.
You were at the Times Standard newspaper.
Yeah. This is a weird
going through David's
offshoot.
resume, which is an impressive resume.
This is a weird offshoot.
He's getting embarrassed. So a newspaper is this thing that you hold. It's
you
made out
hold
of
in your
print,
hand.
and you can read it.
It's made out of wood that has been pulverized and then flattened out, and then you put black and white print on it.
Or unless you have a color ad like Ray's Food Place. Wait, no, really, Dave. The three that are left of the chain. Anyway, sorry. No offense to Ray's. Love those guys. So yeah, David and I would run into each other in Arcata. And then later, as I became a cable TV sales guy and you were in Fortuna, I would make David my lunch date at the Eel River Brewery. So we always hung out.
This is a very strange turn.
Both married at the same time. So it wasn't any sort of other.
Scott used to be much better at his job than I was. And he would leave business cards behind.
Oh, no.
At various places in Arcata and McKinleyville.
Don't go there.
And he would say, please give this to David when he comes the next time. So this is probably payback for that.
So David would show up and call on a business and walk in. Hey, I'm Dave Reed with Times Standard or whoever. And Scott has a business card for you. It's just here. Did that happen really?
A lot.
That's pretty rude.
Yeah.
I'm no longer that way.
It was funny.
It was great. No, still is funny. Anyway, so your day to day, what do you do?
Yeah, I am the person that connects people with something that they believe in. That's kind of what I feel like I do all the time is that I don't ask people for money. People want to help others in Humboldt County, and we just facilitate that happening. And so we ask in a lot of different ways. We mail people things. We talk on podcasts. We, go on radio stations. We do events. But I mean, mainly it's expressing to people what the need is in Humboldt County and how it's changed. And then asking people who care, to either give their time or give their funds or think about us in the future if they're like planning their estate or something like that.
Gotcha.
And so that's what I do every day. And sometimes it's just thinking about, okay, God, what should we do next?
So you do estate planning if I want to give you my JAG and my...
I don't do estate planning, but
you could take donations that are big ones?
Yeah, for sure.
Name a big donation? Have you guys had property or land or anything like a big estate?
No land that I am aware of in my time. But actually, when we were in the process of rebuilding our facility, which I mentioned we moved into a year ago today.
Where is it exactly? Is it same location?
Same location.
What you rebuilt?
Corner of 14th and Summer, if you know where the old DMV is, right next door.
Right.
And we got a bequest kind of in the middle of that fundraising. A donor, a quiet donor who hadn't let us know, had included us in their estate. And that was almost $500,000.
Wow.
So that was a huge, we had a pretty stagnant fundraising period. We were trying to rebuild the building, didn't know how we were going to make it happen. And that came in, kind of like godsend out of nowhere and gave us the push we needed to reinvigorate and get there.
And the amazing thing is that it was someone who really wasn't someone who was even like supporting Food for People on a day-to-day basis or even an annual basis, right? I mean, it was just something that was very close to their heart.
It was close to their heart. They lived close to us or, close to our location. So they saw Food for People regularly.
Wow.
And they included us in their estate. And I credit them a lot with me not having a mental breakdown, but also just the future of Food for People and us being able to get to where we are today.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about like the granular story of families that come in without names. I realize there's HIPAA law and all, and I'm not asking for that, but kind of the profile of who you would tell me about that generally comes in a demographic overview of here's who we see generally or maybe not generally. And also the donor thing, I want to go back to that too, is cash. Cash is king probably for all of us because it's flexible. It fills in the gap. And nonprofits have many gaps because you're puzzling together funding. But also when we are purchasing food, we can purchase a lot in bulk, and we do a lot of bulk purchasing. So that dollar really goes a lot farther. So if you have a good kitty of money, you can make those and then store it. Oops.
Yep.
Keep hitting my mic today. What is?
You should work on that.
Yeah. Thank you for.
I was. I don't get downstairs into the actual work of the food bank every day, but I got to help out on the front desk a couple weeks back, and the thing that always strikes me is even today, even like me working at Food for People for a year and knowing Carly for like 15 years, 10 years, something like that, and for before that, I still have this set notion of what I think someone who comes into the Eureka Choice Pantry is, or comes to a produce distribution is. And it is everybody that you could imagine. I talked to a mom who had just had she had her 6-week-old daughter with her and her toddler with her. And it was her first time ever coming to the food bank.
Wow.
There was a couple of people who looked exactly like my grandpa who working dudes who just, they needed help at the end of the month.
Yeah.
And a mom who, looked like, every ranch mom I ever knew in Fortuna. It's, it is everybody, every person you could imagine could be someone who needs help from Food for People.
Yeah, I would echo that. It's, you can't really pinpoint it down to one generalization because it's, every story is different.
Sure.
We got people who are living on low fixed incomes, seniors who are coming in every month because they just can't get by on, $900 a month plus rent, utilities, all that. Who can. But then there's also people who come in who had a sudden medical emergency and, everyone in the house is working, but those costs went way above and now they can't make mortgage, they can't make car payment and all of that.
Wow.
And, they're at risk of defaulting on something. And food is the thing in the budget that has wiggle room, but you still have to make sure that your family's fed. So
love it.
We'll get people who it's just a one-time thing because they don't know how to get through that month.
So there's probably folks like that are reticent or reluctant or feel weird about receiving. Some of us do. Some of us are glad receivers. I would love you to buy me lunch, by the way. Actually, I think it's my turn to buy you lunch. So those folks, if we were to talk to them to go, hey, this isn't for 6-digit income people to roll in and fill up boxes. But it's for people that are in need, kind of maybe regardless of what, I don't know. There must be, do you see where I'm going with that?
Yeah.
There's some people that would be recalcitrant. Is that a good word?
Aaron, who runs the Choice Pantry in Eureka, is like the most eloquent person about, people getting rid of the shame of asking for help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She just says, we are open for you. The name of this place is Food for People. You are people and you can't choose not to eat.
Yeah. That was the question I was asking. Food receiving shame. And so she takes that out of the equation or tries to.
She tries to within the walls of the building. I think that's as far as that power goes.
I want to say hi to my wife, Joni. Joni, So here comes the Joni comment. So I would gladly go in. Joni, because I married the opposite, which often you do, would go, no, that's for the super like more needful people. And that's what I'm hearing you say is, hey, there's probably enough. It's a universe of abundance, and we can probably take care of most people.
Yeah. I mean, if you have to make a tough decision on, something super important in your life and food, and you have to prioritize that other bill, don't skip a meal. Don't, food for people is there to help. If you need the help, we're there. And we have a lot of ways we try and make it a little less intimidating, really meeting people where they're at. The Eureka Choice Pantry, which David was talking about earlier, is modeled to look like a smaller version, but a version of a grocery store. So if you're coming in, it's not kind of what you might picture from many decades ago of like the pre-made box with the government cheese, that kind of thing. Right. When you're coming in, we're sitting down, we're having a conversation, wanting to know, first family size, so we know how much food we can give you, but are there any other services we can connect you to? Something so hopefully you don't need food for people in the future. And then you get to shop through based on a nutritional point system and take the foods that you want, will use, will fit your dietary needs. If you have culturally significant foods that, your family prioritizes, hopefully we can meet those. If
gluten-free options.
Gluten-free. Erin is great about having a little corner with, the gluten-free, soy or dairy-free options. So hopefully you're walking away with something that will be of use.
All right. I'm going to come by next time we do lunch, by the way.
You should come for a tour.
Yeah. Why wouldn't I?
I actually, that's like not my favorite thing at my job. But one of the things that gives me a lot of joy is showing kids and people who donate their time and their money and, just community groups, touring them through the building, because it's still really new for us, and it's still really new for most people. I mean, most people even, we were at a Rotary meeting, and I thought everybody was going to raise their hand that they had been in the building, and they hadn't. It's really great to like see like what
proud of your new digs.
Well, but also what like the community does, and like the community built this.
Yeah.
And that's really empowering for people to see is like, 300% more cold storage is a big deal when we have like an earthquake or a tsunami or something. And it's not just people who are on the edge financially that need the help of food for people, but it's everybody who needs food for people.
Red Cross type stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. So you take kids on tours, like kids like me?
Kids like you, but like, yeah, I had like this cool homeschool group, and they were great. And we put them on the food scale and weigh the whole class. And
so as a family of 9 being homeschoolers, they're cool and homeschool.
Don't usually go together.
There's an oxymoron. Hear that, hun? That's a good one. Our kids are all homeschool adults now, and they just feel like they were freaks and weird and now weird is cool. So maybe they were cool and they just didn't know it.
They just didn't.
Love you, kids.
Those cycles come around.
They do. They do. Yeah, it's funny. So money's important for donors. And I want to go to the other extreme real quick and ask the opposite. We all want to help that family that's got a bad situation and a down and out. What about the abusive family, the ones that come back again and again? There's no betterment. Is it? I don't mean to say it. Let me rephrase. I think my question is, what about those who it's just become part of their budget? And do you exist for that and for that demographic as well? And maybe David will reframe my question.
I will simplify
again.
And say people need food.
Okay.
And that's what we're here for.
Okay. So
there's not a judgment involved.
Okay. So if I'm whatever, if I need food, you're there.
Yeah. Okay, and I'd say it's hard for most people to walk in the door. So people coming just, I don't want to say for the fun of it, but because they don't need it, doesn't often happen.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I think there's that perception, hey, if you don't work, you shouldn't eat type of thing. That's out there. It's still old school. I'm not saying I espouse that, but but I'm saying that's there, and you go, okay,
that's
so
surprising.
Yeah, and Humboldt County has a really high level of poverty and welfare, and people come here for a reason. I just wonder if there's I don't know, if a filter for that, and you're saying, hey, we feed people. Got it.
We feed people. I mean, everything when you come in, we have income guidelines. So you should, fit within those income guidelines for the most part.
There are guidelines, yeah. Okay.
There are guidelines. And we make exceptions. Like I mentioned, there might be a family who's just outside of those guidelines and for some reason had an emergency. So if that specific situation comes up, well, they won't be getting the USDA foods, for example, that we have, but we'll find some way to send them away with something.
Gotcha.
But for the most part, it is income guidelines set by, the federal government for the USDA guidelines, and we follow that for the most part.
Love it. And I'm a recipient of that as a kid. My mom raised me in San Diego. You might know this. You don't. We were super poor. Like, she made $100 a week under the table, and we lived on nothing. And she raised me a hippie feral child, and look what happened to me. I have a little less hair than David, but not much. Anyway, the story is that we would go to the Hebrew school where the distribution center was for the government cheese, the crappy peanut butter, and whatever meat product that is. I mean, I don't know. I get you could survive on it, but it's whatever the canned meat was frightening. I think it was pork, chicken. Anyway, so very familiar with that. And is there still USDA foods that come through the distribution chains?
There are. It's what you'll see walking through the doors these days for USDA foods is very different. Kind of how it works is food banks get almost like a point system. Like, we have a certain amount of quote dollars, not really dollars, that we can use to shop through based on the menu they have available. So we pick out with some limits what food it is that we're getting.
Okay.
So if no one is taking pinto beans and they're offering pinto beans, we're not going to order that.
Gotcha.
If we have
if government cheese is popular in Humboldt, then you can.
I don't think the government cheese exists in quite the same way that it did.
Yeah. Am I dating? Am I that old?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I didn't know that we had this in common, but but my parents split up when I was about, like 9, 10, 11.
Mm-hmm. You too?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
And, in Humboldt County, there was no food for people before 1979.
Mm-hmm.
And
you're that new.
45 years?
Yeah, 45 years this year.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm dating myself now.
But, so there was just you would go and get bread, or you would go and, mom would go and get some dairy products. And that was it.
Right.
For families in Humboldt County at the time.
Yeah.
So you just pieced it together, which is a lot of work. If you're already working a job and raising 2 kids, and then you're having to figure out, okay, how am I going to get food?
Rice and beans.
Yeah. Or there was no ramen probably even then. That's how old I am. But yeah.
There was no what?
Ramen.
Oh, ramen. Yeah.
Packaged ramen, 23 cents.
That is kind of newer. Yeah. Well, not that new. Anyway, so I have a story that Jamie, my office manager, said that I should repeat. So here it comes. Big fan. She was a student at CR, had $60 for 2 weeks. She was out of money. She came to y'all in, who knows, 90s. And you guys took care of her. She said, make sure that they understand that they helped me. Mm-hmm. And she was really grateful. She goes, now that's an agency I would support as a nonprofit locally, gladly. So
that is great to
you
hear.
should hit her up. I'll go, we'll bring her to lunch. No. So let's talk about the county real quick. So what do you see, I guess maybe short of connecting to your agency, but what do you see as our challenges and our opportunities as an executive director of a nonprofit?
Well, as an executive director of, a service-centered nonprofit, I'd say we have a really high cost of living, and wages are not necessarily keeping up. Just in the last year, we have seen at least a 30% increase in the amount of people coming to
That's what
food
I was
for
going to ask.
people.
Yeah, because inflationary spiral and that. So you have numbers to say that things are, the needs going up.
The needs going up. We had about 6 months where we hit a new record every single month.
Well,
and our staff would come to staff meeting every month and be like, I don't know how we're going to do more than this.
Wow.
And the stories that we're hearing, it's diverse people, but it's a lot of similar things. It costs a lot. Rent is high. Gas is high. Everyone's seeing how much it costs at the grocery store. Mm-hmm. It's really hard to make it through. And, we have low unemployment rates going right
Mhm.
now, but that doesn't mean that all of the jobs out there are paying livable wages.
Right.
So many of the people that we see are working, but are either underemployed, only part-time work,
Mhm.
or, the work that they're doing, they're just not getting compensated enough to live. If you're a single parent these days, trying to keep even like a 2-bedroom apartment house
Crazy.
on minimum wage, it's nearly impossible in Humboldt County.
Well, rents are crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, all the people that make $6 a gallon gas for us. Appreciate you contributing.
Hey,
to
it's $5.37 right now.
Yeah, right.
Count your lucky stars.
It's $4.47 in like Hawaii, which is crazy. We were in Maui a couple months ago, and I'm going, it's $1 cheaper here. What are you talking about? So
yeah, used
there's that.
Used to be Kona and Eureka have the same gas price.
Right, in downtown San Francisco, maybe. So we're crazy on that. But yeah, I have a 19 and 22-year-old at home. Guess where they're going anytime soon? Nowhere. Because thank you, rent people and gas people. And I don't know, to blame Biden wouldn't be fair to sit here on the air and go, thanks, Joe. But thank you, Congress. I don't know. We'll blame somebody. But
I'm sure there are many a factor contributing.
Absolutely. So let's cycle back. So you're 30% up. You must have 30% more need. This might be the PSA that a moment that if we wanted to help, how could we help as Humboldt, or when Nick gets the podcast up and we're in Great Britain, how do people help Food for People?
Well, I think first of all, I got to say that I am astounded at how supportive this community has been for Food for People for so many years, because I come from, three different nonprofits that I've worked for and helped raise, a lot of funds for, but people are so generous to give, and give to Food for People until it hurts. And built a new facility, $6.2 million,
Really?
debt free.
Wow.
And a lot of that came from this very community.
I'm just hearing that right now for the first time. So, wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of that money came from here. Yeah, of course. I mean, people can go online right now and foodforpeople.org, hit the give button, and obviously.
Are you guys on Facebook?
Yes, and
Instagram,
yeah.
TikTok.
No TikTok and no Twitter. No
Twitter yet.
No Twitter. No TikTok. But
MySpace.
YouTube though, which is really
YouTube is perfect.
Our YouTube channel is really neat, and I wish there more people were on it, because it's not just fundraising videos. It's
people.
It's nutrition and menus and stuff like that. But yeah, no. To make the big pitch,
please,
foodforpeople.org and click the donate button, or become a full plate partner, which is what we call people who give every single month, which is a great way to be a really big hero for Food for People without it affecting your individual day-to-day life that much, because it's 10, 15, 20, $100 a month instead of laying down a big check.
Did you do Venmo and PayPal and all that?
And Venmo and PayPal
and cash and
vegetables and people dropping off cans. It all helps.
So the zucchini?
The
zucchini joke.
The zucchini.
Yeah. There was lots of zucchini.
It's coming on in my garden right now.
Oh my gosh.
I've got 2 big plants and I've got 1 more going in. So I am going to donate my extra zucchini.
So many zucchini jokes coming your way right now. But in the fall.
Yeah.
I love that. So can you talk about so there are stores that give you their whatever day old. Do you get to talk about them openly, or are they anonymous?
Oh,
no.
No.
So Wild Berries, ENF, Co-op, whatever.
Co-op, Safeway, Costco. We have a driver who will go around on kind of like a weekly schedule to all of our regular stores and picks up the food that would otherwise go to waste. I think last year it was just over 300,000 pounds of food that we rescued from local stores and were able to put into the hands of people who could use it.
Is it dangerous or wrong for me to eat dated food? I'm always eating dated stuff at work. My staff's getting mad at me. No, it's dead 2 days ago.
I know.
It's a can of tuna, man.
I have gotten a total education working at Food for People. There are so many, experts at Food for People who say sell-by dates are a marketing technique. They are not
Oh,
They are not a way. They are not telling you to throw away that food.
Did you know that?
But there are guidelines, right? There are guidelines.
There are guidelines. And yes, sell-by dates, best-by dates can all be really confusing.
Okay.
For canned foods, we will follow, again, USDA guidelines, which is usually this year, 4 years in the past is the cutoff of when you should no longer, or if a can is rusty, bulging, anything like that.
Right.
Obviously, fresher foods have their own guidelines, and it kind of depends on the food. But, within reason, use best judgment.
Is it really 4 years?
Yeah, 4 years.
So you have some discretion as to what you might distribute.
A little bit. Yeah. We're obviously not going to try and distribute anything that we ourselves don't deem safe.
Sure.
And we have volunteers who will sit, not everything we get from the local stores is usable. We might get bins of strawberries where some are bad, some are not. So we have volunteers who go through, sort
Who gets that donation?
Yeah.
Well, you get that food after it's been cleaned.
Probably farmers that get that for other purposes, maybe. I mean,
the stuff we can't use, we have hog farmers who will come pick up.
I remember Williams Bread used to, the hog man would come in and get 1,700 loaves of bread of all kinds. And where do you go? That looks like good bread. Well, I got a hog farm up in Hayfork.
Yeah.
All right. Chief, get up there, bud. Have fun.
I see her, the farmer who comes by once, twice a week.
Yeah.
Perfect. Hey, recycle, reuse, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I didn't realize also until working for Food for People that stores aren't necessarily putting stuff out for us when it's expired. It's kind of more like they know it's like, okay, we're going to pull this now because it's we're not going to sell it. We know that.
They have their own reasons.
And we can get it out to people who are the Choice Pantry. Where else does that food go?
I mean, it kind of depends. We have a network of partners we work with. We once tallied and we were at almost 100 partners in Humboldt County that we work for, or work with, not for, but, we partner with to make our work possible. And some of those are, congregate meal sites. St. Vincent de Paul comes in, they pick up their own food. We give them food directly, so local store donations might go to them.
So there's individuals that will cook for the homeless. Will they come and get food from y'all?
We work with a whole bunch of nonprofits.
Okay.
As long as you serve low-income individuals and kind of meet the requirements on, making sure you're meeting
It's a whole
civil
network.
rights. Yeah.
So, gosh, the politics of food are got to be fascinating, and I don't want to get there or even try to, but it seems like we manufacture a lot of overage and a lot of surplus. Is that, even in our little county, it has to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, it could go in the landfill, which is travesty.
It is a travesty. And actually, California recently passed some legislation trying to, cut down on that. But I would say in Humboldt County, we're a lot better than, say, other places in the state. We have Food for People has great working relationships with a lot of the farmers. So we have a whole gleaning program that will go out to farms, get, the extra produce that's not going to make it to market, or maybe it's a little not as aesthetically pleasing, that kind of stuff that they know won't sell, we'll harvest, bring back. We have backyard gardeners. You mentioned zucchini. Zucchini and apples have their very own season in Humboldt County.
Their very own bin.
Yeah, bins, plural.
Bins.
That's funny.
So many apples that we worked with Humboldt Cider Company last year we couldn't get through all the apples.
Yeah.
Because you just got donated tons.
We had a really odd growing season last year because of the rain. So the apple crop was just immense. And we were getting so many apple donations, and you can only give out so many before they start to turn. And the ones that were about to or turning, we worked with Humboldt Cider, and they pressed into its very own cider.
Wow.
It's Cider for People. I think it's still out there. You can buy it, and $1 of every sale goes to Food for People.
That's really cool. I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good association. That makes sense.
Yeah. Even with refrigeration, there's like only so long you can hold on to an apple.
Right. Well, and then the cider turns into apple, what do they call that? The hooch? The apple cider, when it's alcoholic? Why am I looking at you?
I thought he was
Why
an
are you
expert.
looking guilty? That's Nick. He's over there. Don't look. Whatever they call it. Well, it's hard cider.
Yeah. Well, it's hard cider for sure.
You give away hard cider? Wait. No. I know. I totally know you don't do that. So what's in the future? What do you see in the near future? More need and more...
I think strategically, we're looking at, I don't want to harp on the pandemic because it's mostly over, but the feds and the state did a lot of, kind of extra funding support for food banks in the last several years because so many people were experiencing hardship because of the pandemic. And a lot of those are going away. And at the same time, as we mentioned, we're seeing a huge uptick in need. Right now, we're pretty good, but we're looking ahead to what food banks in all of California are deeming the hunger cliff that we all anticipate. Less resources, more need. So
it has a name. That's a thing.
That's
the hunger cliff.
The hunger cliff, at least amongst food bankers, which I get is a very specific group of.
So it's there's a coming.
There's a coming worry, I guess we'll say. There's no hard facts yet, but with state budget where it is,
concern.
All of that, it's a concern. So trying to keep up with that and do it equitably. We've been making a really concerted effort, as I alluded to earlier, of looking at where there are food deserts and seeing how we can better serve those communities. So in the last few years, we've expanded. We're doing new distributions with partners in Alder Point, Petrolia, and Honeydew, Myers Flat, and more to come. So
I wish I had a pointer. I could.
I know.
You need a longer. I
want to get
stick.
my geography thing going.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, and there's so many little pockets,
remote areas
in Humboldt County.
Yeah.
And those are the places that need sometimes the most support. But it's difficult to get there.
But they have good growing places.
Right. Sure. But, our growing season's only a few,
Speaking of growing and the boom and bust marijuana industry, that's got to affect that bigger inflation picture you're talking about and the need, because that's, I'm told, heart-wrenching in Soham. There's just market fell out of the bottom of the market, and it's just awful. So not to bring up the politics of marijuana, although I have lots of opinions, the point is there are people with need and families, little kids with need.
Yeah, who, have not experienced that a lot in their life. It's been a pretty dramatic change in the last few years.
Yeah.
And that's definitely an impact. Unfortunately, Humboldt County has a history of boom and bust industries.
Yes, we do.
So I am excited. You asked earlier, what can Humboldt County do? I'm excited for some of the potentials, industry expansion that might bring some more jobs and stability.
What do you see?
I mean, I'm not an expert, but there's the fish farm that will hopefully be coming to fruition soon, wind farm. All of that's really far down the line, but I think hopefully will be an investment in a little stability in Humboldt County.
And the trail system, the Great Redwood Trail. As I drive home tonight, I'm going to shoot. I keep thinking I'm going to shoot a photo while I'm driving. Nah. The insurance guy that's taking photos while he's driving, that doesn't work.
It's a good look.
Thank you. Thank you for affirming that. So my wife's a trail person and a walker, runner, hiker, and the trail's coming in from Arcata to Eureka as we speak.
Yeah.
They're grinding. I can see it from here. It's going to be happening before the end of the summer.
Oh, wow.
Which is really cool because that'll give you basically the power plant to Little River Beach and Clam Beach.
Yeah.
Whoa.
On a bike, or you want to walk it, you could do whatever. And so, I think that's going to be, and then the trail system coming in from, where will it start? Like Willits, I don't know, Bay Area?
Probably like the rail corridor, right?
It is that. It's the Eel River, yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe not in our lifetime, although may you live to see it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
May you see that. May we all see that. So issues that are the coming economy, the election, the cliff, and the way we can help is, besides money, and produce, what are other ways? I mean, you take
there's a whole side of Food for People that is about outreach and advocacy. And reasonable people can disagree about like what the solutions are to problems of hunger, but they are real and they are here in Humboldt. And obviously they've been here. I mean, Food for People has been around for 79 years, 45 years since 1979. But, we do have an advocacy person, and program that gives people facts and says, here's the things that could help.
Yeah.
And you look at those things, be a reasonable adult, and figure out what you can support, and then go out and act on those things. Like school lunch during the summer is a big one. And I think has it passed in California? It's
the
continuing.
last version I saw, it was included, which is very exciting.
Yeah. I mean, right now,
That's cool.
Our kids' summer food program serves 225 kids.
Whoa.
In Humboldt County. That's not a lot of kids.
Yeah.
And
how many kids are in summer school? Thousands.
And that's mostly in communities that don't have the ability to have a summer lunch program, and are mostly very rural and remote, or at least are just in communities that are cut off in one way or another.
Yeah.
As close as Manila, but as far away as Willow Creek and Hoopa.
Yeah. I liked what you said. The notion of reasonable people. It might be an oxymoron, but I don't think so. Not forever, because one of the themes of the podcast is, it's called Cal Poly. That's one theme. The other is, hey, we're pretty divided.
It's called Cal Poly.
Get it right.
It's still HSU.
I know, for me it's HSU and you too. But this division, but for reasonable people, I like that, because we could come together as reasonable people, and a reasonable person, I might assert, would say, we're in America, man. There's plenty of food.
Right.
Let's feed hungry people, especially hungry kids. I mean, who's going to argue that? It's like, if there's hunger in Whitethorn, in one family that can't, for whatever reason, figure it out, and you got a warehouse full of food, what's wrong with this? Why wouldn't we not get that person fed? So yeah. I get that, actually.
So that's another thing that people can do, is that they can find the issues they can agree upon, and then advocate for them with.
Could I find a food desert in McKinleyville and report it and make a recommendation for y'all to meet a need or get them information? I mean, there must be, it's not a whole desert, but maybe a family or maybe a tribe of folks that live in cabins up in West Haven. Whatever. Maybe tribe's not the word I'm looking for, but a group of a little community that's kind of hard for food. Is there a referral program where you could do?
There's no formal referral program, but really, finding out about those areas and hearing from it. And ideally, if we have a direct connection there.
And they can call you and figure it out.
Yeah, we can figure out if there's a way to partner and get food there. The more we know about, the better we'll be able to plan.
Yeah, and the good thing is that Food for People isn't doing this alone, that there's a network of food pantries that, aren't under the Food for People umbrella necessarily. They are partners, and we support them.
Right.
But they're the eyes and ears too.
Yeah.
I got to help out at the Trinidad pantry, and it's once a month, and it is super grassroots. It is in the community hall.
Yeah.
It is mostly retired people handing out.
Lions Club.
It's Lions Club, right?
The Lions do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Lions are cool.
And
they're great.
It is very, and people come in from the community who are helping out, and they say, oh, I heard about this, and I saw so-and-so, and this guy doesn't live there anymore. So that's some of that is how those referrals happen.
Yeah.
And it might be with seniors. I'm thinking of senior citizens too, that are just for whatever reason, can't eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a whole program that focuses on seniors. So they either have days in, their unique communities where they can come pick up from us, or if they can't make it out of the house for whatever reason, we have a network of really dedicated volunteers who will come pick food up from us and deliver it to the seniors on their route.
Wow, that's cool. I love that about you guys already. The fact that you're all networked in and dialed in, and
all those drivers are volunteers, which is
100%.
So amazing.
Are they through you or the senior center?
Through us.
They're through us. We partner with the senior center, and they have also many of our volunteers overlap.
And they're a great group.
They are.
Yeah, no, really good. So let's stop the show and do the quiz. Are you ready?
Oh, all right.
Funny because it's often related to food. David's going, no, not me.
I'm not ready.
We'll start with Carly in that case, and
all right.
we'll rotate this. Carly, and your favorite coffee in town. Where do you go for coffee? If you could go anywhere and order anything, where would you go? What would you order?
I'm typically more of a tea person, if I'm honest. But if I do want a coffee, Jitterbean is close to us, so I often go to Jitterbean.
Oh, they're right there.
They're right down the street. Yeah.
They have their warehouse over there, too.
They do. They roast like 2 doors down from us. We get to smell it.
Rick Roberts, what's up?
Yeah. So probably
all
Jitterbean.
The Roberts. Okay, Jitterbean.
I love all our local coffee places, but...
Okay, David's had a long time to think about.
I've had a long time to think about this. And this is not where I do go, but it is where I would get my best cup of coffee in Humboldt County.
Please.
And that is Cafe Mocha.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, I can't get there because it is like, I love it, but it's not where I work or where I live. But man, that is...
And and take a hot tub while you're there.
Right.
So the first place in all of Humboldt to have espresso coffee, like the real deal, like a mocha and a latte and a cappuccino, was Cafe Mocha in Arcata.
No way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, in that like mid 80s, early 80s even. And it's a little Finnish, what would you call the house? A house?
A house. I would call it a house. It's kind of
it's a Finnish house.
It's that Tudor English looking kind of thing where it's plaster and board.
Scandinavian, if you will.
Scandinavian, possibly.
Yeah, possibly. Anyway, hot tubs around but the killer coffee.
Really good coffee.
I got to take Joni for that. That'd be good. Yeah. Okay, my favorite coffee, I'm glad you asked. Dick Taylor. Oh, wait, here they are.
Oh, actually, you know what?
They have killer coffee.
They really do.
Followed by Brio. Brio Bakery has that blue dolphin something. It's all $5.
Is Dick Taylor sponsoring this podcast?
Not at all.
Okay. I just wanted to say.
No, but
his bag's right there.
I dust. Oh, that little bag. Weird. So that's great coffee. Okay, next question. Round 2. You ready? We'll start with David for 5 points and the championship. Best hamburger. Where do you go for a burger? Since it's food for people.
Besides my house.
Can't go to your house.
I do love Stars.
Stars? Okay.
Yeah.
They've won Best of Humboldt a number of times.
Yeah.
Would it be okay if everybody voted for y'all for Best of Humboldt for...
We would love that.
We would love that. We're in 3 categories.
What are the categories? It's a shout out for Best of Humboldt.
Let's see.
Through June 30th, you could vote once a day. Go to North Coast Journal and Best of Humboldt.
Under services, it's Best Volunteer Organization.
Okay.
Which is, we're humbled to say we have about 250 volunteers every single month throughout programs.
Huge,
so they make food for people function. But also
and then under bonus, there's
local cause, I believe.
Well, local
and maybe
cause.
Local nonprofit.
Yeah.
So you're 3.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool. So we could vote for you.
Anybody else have a place in that quiz?
Can't really think of any.
Okay.
Offhand. Maybe Dick Taylor.
Probably.
They do.
Yeah, no insurance.
So does Jitterbean, by the way, and I think Star may or may not. What's your favorite burger?
Well, I was going to go with Stars because they're a classic, and I love a mustard forward hamburger.
What does that mean?
I love mustard on my
you just put extra mustard on it.
No, their hamburger is mustard forward. I will give you that.
I don't think they even put ketchup on it. I mean, you can yourself, but I think
that's a thing.
Yeah, I believe so. Someone might have to correct me
Until you
on
said it, I didn't really think about
it's
it.
Delicious. I love it.
Is it on the menu like that?
I think that's just how it comes.
Or is their
that
burger
is their
just
standard.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll try that. That sounds yummy.
Yeah. So I'll go Stars, but there's a new food truck that I am failing to remember the name of. I think it's like Humboldt Burger or something like that. But it was quite good the last time I had that at the Friday night market.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And did you want to ask me my best burger?
Yes, please. What is your best burger?
It's In-N-Out Burger. Just there you go. Okay. Say no more. They said, my daughter just told me this. They're here from Medford. The cheapest fast food in all of Medford, which is pretty big, is In-N-Out Burger. McDonald's is like $6 for a what's that? Oh. The little breakfast thing?
Muffin.
McMuffin. Thank you on the muffin. Wow. It's weird getting old. You kind of...
Hard to make those connections.
What was your name again? Yeah. So lastly, round 3. We'll start with Carly. This is the tiebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite pizza?
Ooh, Live from New York. That's my favorite. I like a thin crust.
Guess whose 19-year-old son works there?
Does that mean you get all the free?
Well, we can't talk about that on the air.
That is really good pizza. And they also have doughs. You can pick up doughs if you make pizza at home.
Paul's did a great job.
This is showing my age and ancient Humboldt County cred, but I will never be the same now that there's no Angelo's Pizza.
That is, yeah, I saw that. We just walked by today. The guy that reopened it shut it already.
Oh no, I hadn't.
Yeah. I think he reopened a bunch of restaurants really kind of quick. What's your favorite pizza, Davey?
That's what I said.
Angelo's?
Yeah.
Pizza that you could buy.
Pizza that I can buy now.
Unless you have some frozen Angelo's.
I don't think there's any rules about us not picking the same one, and I'm going to say live from New York.
Live from New York.
Before I ask yours, I will give a shout out. If you love a take and bake pizza, Babes will do take and bake, and they are a deal and they're delicious.
Yeah, everybody loves Babes. It's on that side of town where
that's where most of my pizza comes from. But yeah.
So do you have to say live from New York because your son works there?
I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah. Paul, it's amazing. It's magical pizza.
It is.
It's so I am almost 65 and trying to be healthy. So it is a little bit of a cheat food for me. I can't eat a whole lot of it.
That's a shock.
Yeah, that I'm 65?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I have nice skin. Let's make it weird. So parting shots. So when you go away and you get your wings, what do you want to be remembered for at your eulogy or your legacy session or your celebration of life or say your tombstone? And I'll start with you, Carly, while I'm looking at David and making it extra awkward.
Sure, weird.
Who are you and what do you want? And what's your legacy going to be in your tombstone?
I mean, for me, I think you should always meet people with kindness. So be kind.
Amen.
Maybe I'll go with this. I was at the women's protest many years ago. You remember that? And my sign was be kind, be fair, and be aware. So
it's good.
Something like that.
I like that. That's a good legacy. I like that. That's a tombstone thing. Yeah. All right, David, who are you and what do you want? I'll fill in the dead air and say that he's had a whole show to think about this because I asked.
Yeah, you gave it to me early and I'm still failing. I don't know who I am yet, but I'm still figuring it out.
Right on. Yeah. Who is it?
But I hope my legacy is he was a good dad.
Oh, good one. Love it. Yeah. How many children? Two. That's right. You guys have two.
I have a newly minted middle schooler.
Wow.
As of today. So
yeah. So does my office mate. Her boy just graduated today. Yeah.
And I can say he's a great dad. We'll be at work. There will be a game on and he will be watching it on his phone. And I don't know how you do that.
That's really sweet.
I'm not doing it at work.
No.
Though. I'm doing it during a conference. Yeah.
It's on my break.
Yes.
It was lunch,
We were at dinner and I'm sitting there watching the softball game. It's on my phone. Yeah. No, it's a good gig. You should,
try it.
Try it sometime.
Yeah. And the most noble and the most awesome and the most daunting. And try having adult kids that have drama. It's a whole nother ball of wax. But hey, don't worry. It'll happen to you too.
Good. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm there for you. What else? Any parting shots? How do we get a hold of you and how do we donate and give our time, our money, our kid, our caboodle?
Yeah. I mean, the easiest way is foodforpeople.org. You can find all the information there. You can give really easily online if you want to give a financial donation, help us with that purchasing power. It is summertime, so even our most amazing regular volunteers are taking their vacation.
Sure.
So we are looking for volunteer help.
Timely,
so,
okay.
Yeah, if you have time or if you have a student at home not doing anything and think they would benefit, we could use a couple extra hands this time of year.
Wow.
We do a orientation every Monday at 3:30, I believe. I'm getting my times right. But it's all on there. You can put in an application. Wow. And then if you say like David are going to have an abundance of zucchini or anything like that, or just food that you aren't going to use and want to put in the hands of someone who will use it, we will accept it.
Apples, okay?
Apples. We love the apples. That was a unique year.
It's a lot of cider.
Yeah. No offense to the apples.
No.
I would say that if you're thinking about, I'm not a big shot. I can't make a difference, I would say you can certainly make a difference.
I love
if $5 a year is what you can do, that's great. If $5 a month is something you can do, that's great. And if you can give your time, and money's not the thing you can do, give your time.
I love it.
Even if it's just like one day a year when we do like a food drive, because you get to see what the good that you're doing.
Yeah. I love that.
And it fills you up.
I think too many people and too many times we throw money at problems. But if we went down and hung out for a week, that'd be for a year.
Yeah. I mean, money is helpful though.
But don't forget the money.
We do.
Don't forget Venmo.
We do need to buy the food.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it definitely it changes you when you're helping people who are your neighbors.
I love it. Yeah. You might say good neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you become part of the community doing the good. I love it. Anything else you guys like to parting shots?
Thanks for letting me be part of Carly's interview, because this was just supposed to be
this
her.
is great.
Yeah.
He can fill in on everything I forgot.
No, you guys are a daunting team. I love it. Thanks for being here. Love to have you back. Carly, thank you.
Thank you.
And David, a formal thank you.
Thank you. I'm expecting the lunch soon.
Yeah, no, I'll deliver on that. And thanks for listening to 100% Humboldt, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks,
Thank
Scott.
you.